So now we have our maple leaf, half of our maple leaf block done. And I did an abracadabra here. I switched out my cutting mat. This cutting mat is bigger than 12.5 inches because this should be cut at 12.5 inches square. So I need something that's going to be large enough to put this on. And when you're squaring things up, I try to use the center markings on the cutting boards and putting most of my lines right on those center markings so that I don't end up, if I have to trim it, with one side bigger than the other. And I'm using my 12.5 inch square and I'll put it right on top of the maple leaf, and I will do my best to match up my 6.5 inches where the 6.5 inch marks are, so that like I said, I get a nice square. And I'm going to square this up, and it is important that you square it up, because if you don't square it up, the rest of your block is going to be wonky, and you don't want that happening. So as you can see, isn't this nice to be able to just rotate that and do all your trimming without having to move your block. So I should have my block trimmed and squared to 12.5 inches. And there we go. Now in the pattern, I'm actually going to use this one for a pillow, but in your pattern, you're going to add that block to 3 half square triangle blocks and a plain block. And you're going to do, depending on which side you're putting your maple leaf block on, you'll do one way or the other. Some quilts you may only put it down one side, so you'd make it all one way or all another way. But you know, as you follow your pattern to make whichever of the maple leaf, elbows up maple leaf quilt that you're doing, you'll know how many of each block to put together. So we've completed half of a maple leaf block. And as I said, all it's going to take now is 3 half square triangles and 1 plain 6.5 inch square sewn together, and that makes your maple leaf block.